don't even know why Karoline Leavitt is doing pressers right now. I mean, I'm wanting her to continue, but every time the same subject comes up, which is Epstein right now, all of them are pointing in different. Trump says, "Oh, Obama." Leavitt says, "Ask the FBI." Kash Patel's gone. I don't know what happened to him. Where is Kash Patel? Where's Sam Bongino? They're just in hiding right now. So it's kind of difficult to get answers. And I'll show you some of these press moments. But they released the documents. They released the files. The MLK files. Who is asking for those? The Associated Press reports Trump administration released FBI records, and you're like, okay, here we go, on MLK Jr. Despite his family's opposition about his assassination. What's the government? What's the theory there? The Trump administration has released records of the FBI's surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr., despite opposition from the slain Nobel laureate's family and civil rights group that he led until his 1968 assassination. Okay, so about the surveillance, King's family, including his two living children, Martin III and Bernice, were given advance notice of the release and had their own teams reviewing the records ahead of the public disclosure. In a lengthy statement released Monday, the two living King children called their father's case a captivating public curiosity for decades. But the pair emphasized the personal nature of the matter and urged that these files must be viewed within their full historical context. And so we'll see, this just happened as of when I'm recording this, so I don't have any bombshells or anything like that to read out to you, but all of this is such a caricature of this administration. It's like, hey, what? Finally the MAGAs are going, hey, why aren't you telling us the truth about Epstein? And then they go, huh, what, Obama? Russia? They go, no, why aren't you releasing the Epstein files? MLK files? Do you need more JFK files? I thought you released all of those already. We have more. We can give more. Is that good? And on that note, we have Karoline Leavitt being asked here.
The president just ordered the FBI to release the full Epstein files, just get it all out there.
The president has said if the Department of Justice and the FBI want to move forward with releasing any further credible evidence, they should do so. As to why they have or have not or will, you should ask the FBI about that. Go ahead.
Trump's like, we already released everything, and the stuff that's left is phony, and Obama created it. Then Leavitt says, yeah, the FBI can release it if they want it. And then Bondi says, we'll release it if Trump wants us to. It's just everyone's pointing. I do love, can I just circle back? I love that Trump's out there shouting about it. Leavitt's out there. Pam Bondi's taking questions. And then the two FBI people, the director and the deputy director, after doing all these podcast appearances, are just in caves. They're just in witness protection program. Like, no one is hearing from them. Andrew said, Leavitt asked the FBI. FBI asked the DOJ. DOJ asked the president. Trump asked Comey and Obama. They wrote the files. This is a debacle. Even how is it that by now they haven't gotten a more coherent story? Like, they could all call each other and say, all right, here's the plan. We're all going to say it's about Obama or something. But they haven't even gotten that. Mike Johnson was also asked.
For the August recess.
So here's what I would say about the Epstein files. There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency. He has said that he wants all the credible files related to Epstein to be released. He's asked the Attorney General to request the grand jury files of the court. All of that is in process right now. My belief is we need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing. And if further congressional action is necessary or appropriate, then we'll look at that. But I don't think we're at that point right now because we agree with the president.
So no vote on this resolution before August recess.
We had this up before.
He said that we need to give the administration space right now. They just need space. It's been a tough time. You know, Marjorie's really upset with them. They need space. Trump, the FBI flagged a lot of Trump files, and there's like some really terrible stuff in there. He needs space to kind of just process through kind of what it is that they're going to do it. All right, Mike. So they're not even going to put up the resolution about releasing them to a vote. And the what's it called when you walk on a tightrope? What's it called when you walk on a tightrope? Walking on a tightrope. The tightrope they're trying to walk right here is we believe in maximum transparency, and also just not yet. It's kind of, we want to be transparent, but we can't because of how much phony stuff is in there, is Trump's argument. Pretty bonkers. Then Karoline.
There are reports that President Trump or the FBI agents going through the Epstein files were told to flag President Trump's name if it came up. Is that something the president was aware of, or something that he directed those agents or the Department of Justice to do?
I don't believe that's something the White House was aware of. You'd have to ask the FBI.
Karoline.
Okay, so that's the Dick Durbin report about how the FBI was directed to flag in the documents as they were reviewing them mentions of Trump. Why would they want to flag them? They like flags. I don't know. Shut up. It feels like there's only one reason they would specifically flag information about Trump, and that was to redact it or to not release it. And again, I'm telling you, if you're just stumbling across this video, I don't think we need to go too overboard in our analysis here. It's true. I will continue to say, if the DOJ for the last few years has had access to information that would be a criminal bombshell about Trump and not just loosely attached, very gross, low character information, but actual criminal sort of that could justify criminal prosecution, of course I believe Biden administration officials would have acted on that. So that is the only argument I've heard from them that makes more sense. But the behavior is what just keeps this going round and round and round. If you appreciate the show, by the way, please do click the subscribe button. It's free, but it just suggests the videos to you and supports our show in the algorithm.
Thanks, Karoline. The Congressional Budget Office released updated estimates today about the big, beautiful bill now that it's law. They estimate that the deficit will grow by $3.4 trillion by 2034, and that 10 million people will lose health coverage by 2034. I know you guys are critical of the CBO. More broadly speaking, is there any concern from the administration that this bill, now that it's law, will increase the deficit in any way or remove anyone from health insurance that they have legal citizens?
No, look, this bill was a great bill for the American people. It was the largest tax cut for middle and working class families in our nation's history. And the president wants to see this country get our fiscal house in order. That's why this was a fiscally responsible bill, one of the most fiscally conservative pieces of legislation for its size that has ever crossed through Capitol Hill. And the president wants to cut our deficit. That's why he's effectively using tariffs to bring more revenue into the United States to ultimately pay down
from the United States. Okay. I don't even know what to do with that. Should I? Do y'all need me to fact check those claims? No. How many times have we done that? Joke. Shut up, Mark Wayne. But I more just want to think about, since we've gone through those claims. Yeah, this is going to add a bunch to the deficit. We went over very thoughtfully the math there. No, it's not fiscally responsible. No, the combined effect of it doesn't benefit working class Americans. No, tariffs are not the solution. I don't know. What else does she list off there? But more so just, this is kind of the moment that we're in now. And that should make us sad. I think before, politicians and their spokespeople kind of had to at least take a fact, right? You had like a fact. Imagine a fact is a little creature. And they would maybe like twist the arm a little bit. They would maybe paint the fact. They would maybe try to hide the fact sometimes. They would train the fact, right? But it would still at least be based on some fact, but then just like some silly games. Now they just put the fact mouse in a blender and then blend it up and then pour it out into a dumpster and then walk totally separate away from it. Now they're totally away from it, and they just I've kind of gotten lost in my metaphor. Then they make a lie baby. I don't know. That doesn't feel right. You get the point. There's not even an attachment to reality like that. She just kind of went back to this is a fiscal. There was no contending with what was actually. Am I doing the Gavin Newsom thing accidentally? Oh no. Guys, I've been doing it as a joke and now I just do it. I can't help myself. This is too interesting. Oh my gosh, I feel better. Why do I feel like I can speak for the first time in my entire life? This is awesome. that really does help kind of keep you get it. Now they don't even try. Now it's just we get to invent out of whole cloth our world, and then our followers choose to abide by that, and facts be damned. It's really, I just don't know how we progress in a political discourse with that. Then Trump randomly got obsessed that the Washington Commanders should be called the Washington Redskins again, and said he's going to like get in the way of a stadium deal, or he's going to give them hell if they don't change it back. And I saw a lot of, posts that were like, American people, living is too unaffordable. Trump, change the name back to the Redskins. And it's just like totally detached from what people are caring about right now. Who, other than maybe Commanders fans, who has thought about that in recent months? I don't know. But Leavitt talked about it here.
Was the president serious or was he joking this weekend when he said he might block a Washington Commanders stadium deal if they don't change their name?
The president was serious, and as part of the art of the deal, part of his negotiating skills, as you know, sports is one of the many passions of this president, and he wants to see the name of that team changed.
Since when? When was that? I saw Shane Gillis say, I think during his ESPYs monologue, he said, can we stop pretending like Trump knows anything about sports? Can we stop with this he's so passionate about, just unnecessary.
Is he getting involved in that? Why does he see that as part of his purview?
I think you've seen the president gets involved in a lot of things that most presidents have not. He's a non-traditional president. He likes to see results on behalf of the American people. And if you actually poll this issue with sports fans across the country and even in this city, people actually do support the president's position on this.
Let me just quickly say, there's a difference between, even if that polling information is accurate, we just can't believe because she just makes up things. But even if it's true, even if 100% of sports fans said they can't even watch NFL anymore because of the Commander's name, then why is it the president's duty to get involved in the name of a NFL team in that way, threatening them if they don't change it? Why is this what you're concerning yourself with? And also, I don't know and don't care about that subject even a little bit. I think I should note, in case you were wondering, I am a football fan. I'm actually a fan. I have deep and profound passion for all sporting performances, events, games. And no, we actually we got in the office into NFL last year. We're gonna be into it this year. Go Texans! Shoo! Now, Trump's talking about the football stuff with the Commanders, or he wants it to be Redskins. Then you have him talking about Obama. My point is he's talking about a lot of stuff but one subject. CNN pointed that out.
And that's the story, of course, that has driven the news for weeks, but much safer political terrain for his base. There was the Russia investigation, former President Barack Obama, and alleging corruption in that White House. Is it a strategy or just the president's weekend musings? Well, we have CNN's Kristen Holmes here to break that down for us. So Kristen, what were you hearing from inside the White House this weekend?
Yeah, Manu, I think it's somewhere in the middle there, somewhere between an actual strategy and the president's musings. We know that President Trump wants to talk about literally anything else other than Jeffrey Epstein. You kind of saw that today and throughout the weekend as he posted on almost every topic imaginable. Cashless bail, Adam Schiff, at one point touting Mark Levin's book. He posted memes of Democrats in jumpsuits, a rant about a Wall Street Journal article not related to Jeffrey Epstein, but instead one that indicated that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had told him not to fire Jerome Powell. That seemed to very much get under his skin, saying he's the one who tells his team what to do, not the other way around. And then, of course, as you mentioned, this entire rant, multiple posts about the Washington Commanders threatening not to make a deal on their new stadium unless they went back to the Washington Redskins. This is a little bit of a different turn of what we have seen.
By the way, on that subject, as I'm listening to it, that doesn't sound great. I don't know. I don't know the history of the, whatever, if it was used. But that just something sounds weird. Really, anything skins, something would feel the Austin Whiteskins. And it's just like my face. Get your season tickets now to the Austin, Texas Whiteskins. Go Whites! It feels weird, right? No? It feels strange.
That is getting clipped out of context.
Yeah. I think so. Oh gosh. That's so funny. Okay. We have fun. By the way, you know how the Wall Street Journal released this letter of Trump's back in 2003 to Epstein, talking about their wonderful secret, or life being a wonderful secret or something, and the boobs and the women and all that sketched. Well, the Trump White House now removed the Wall Street Journal reporter from the trip, from some trip they're doing as punishment for papers Epstein bombshell. So petty. And I heard in that reporting the sort of musings of, is it just Trump's musings? And then Leavitt was going, he's a non-traditional president. Let's just remember, as much as you just saw, I'll try to spin things in a fun way. This is serious. Wall Street Journal, Trump officials accused of defying 1 in 3 judges who ruled against him. So when they say that he's not disregarding the judiciary, they mean it. I don't know who they is, but people, me. President Donald Trump and his appointees have been accused of flouting courts in a third of more than 160 lawsuits against the administration in which a judge has issued a substantive ruling. Sheesh. And this is unprecedented, and this is getting at the heart of, in this way, how Trump is degrading our democratic institutions. I can't even think anymore after that. I just keep replaying different ads that could be run for that NFL team. How just terrible. Do you think that America has changed too much? Do you remember how your childhood was before DEI? Get your tickets now. The Austin, Texas Whites. Oh, goodness. I love all of you. I really do. Thank you all so much for joining us today. If you're a podcast listener, leave a rating and a review. I'd appreciate it greatly. I'll talk to you next time.